probably the only person streaming anything to do with Ashes of Creation right now. But still, you know. The AMA, yeah, no, honestly, I think like a lot of hype has come as well from like this video as well, getting like 600,000 views. And then obviously when Asmongold, Summit and Shroud all interviewed like the CEO, that's built up a lot of hype as well. Do you know what I mean? It's cool, be early on this. Yeah, Athos, that's my plan. So Athos, this is my plan. So if we go to actually not the wiki. The wiki's huge, by the way. We go to Ashes of Creation. If I try and log in, oh no, we can just go straight to shop. So like, so Athos, have you seen the way like how to get in the beta? So there's two packages here really. One's a $375 package, which I'll be honest is a bit high, but that gets you into the Alpha 2. But Alpha 2 isn't probably until like New Year or middle of next year, right? But it does get you like, you know what I mean? You do get your money back in these ways here. You know what I mean? So I think what I'm probably going to go for, that's why I got that donation goal. What I'm going to go for is the one down, the 250. I'm going to put like my Twitch money towards it and stuff. So, but you still get access to Alpha 2 though. And then obviously Beta 1 and Beta 2. So Alpha 2, I mean, I'm guessing here, but I'd say it's like early next year, maybe mid next year. So that's what I'm going to buy hopefully next month. Or the month after at the latest. Make sure I didn't kick my Xbox on. Do you know what I mean? What was the extras on the first one? Okay, I'll show you the two then. So access to Alpha 2, Beta 1 and Beta 2. 9 months of in-game currencies. That's like, you know, that is your real value. That's your $15 a month. Do you know what I mean? $125 of in-game currency, but not like gold what you spend. That's for like in the store, so you can buy skins and buy cosmetics and buy stuff like that. But like it says, no pay to win. You can't buy an item that'll make you better at the game. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you get these skins. Yeah, I'm not really too sure to be honest, but you get these skins. Like, I don't know what these are. Let's have a look though. So you get oh, there you go. It's called Thicket's Endowment. Bog Brute, which is a pet. You get a mount cosmetic skin. I don't know if that's gonna be a mount or just a skin for a mount. I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't know if you get to load into the game insta mount. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Costume, freehold building cosmetic skin. That could be pretty cool actually. That could be pretty cool because when you build your own house, do you know what I mean? Name reservation, obviously it's a huge one. Caravan cosmetic skin again, you know. So the only major difference is you get less, obviously, because it costs less. You get less value, so you only get 6 months game time here, $100 in like the in-game stuff, and but yeah, you know. So it's like 3 extra bottom ones here. Yeah. So I'm not gonna lie. I personally wouldn't see the value unless I was rich as fuck. I wouldn't see the value to me in the 375 one because they both get you into Alpha 2. That's the most important thing is these here. Do you know what I mean? The sheer fact that they actually give you basically money back in game is just a bonus because that's probably money you're going to put into the game anyway. You know what I mean? You're going to put in 6 months game time if you really like it. You're going to put money into the cosmetics and stuff like that if you like that, you know. Second one's good enough. Yeah. Athos, by the way, if you ever do purchase or sign up to this game, please use my referral link. And then I've got a plan where if we really get into this game on stream and it goes well and we get like, you know, we get like a team going, a guild going and all that kind of stuff, I've got a plan where anybody who signs up through my link, because Pep was telling me it's anywhere from 10 to 15% that you get back. So if you bought the $250 one, I would get $15 or 15% back into my account. Now I don't exactly know how that works. If it's something I can then buy cosmetics for and do giveaways, or do, you know, monthly sub giveaways where you get to, you know, your monthly sub for the game and we do a bunch of those giveaways, I'll do that with all the money that we would make through the referral links. Does that make sense? Use it when making the account. Sweet. I don't know if that now counts if you ever buy anything. I don't know, but we'll see. I think Pep's here, guys. Let me jump in. Yo, Pep, how's it going?
It's mine.
You're a dirty fucking sellout, but I love it. Okay. Right.
Sorry, you did it in my channel yesterday, you shag.
No, hang on a minute. Somebody asked about the game. Where is it? What is it? I scrolled down on your channel and you removed your referral link. So I just went, listen, here it is. And they didn't sign up and use it anyway, so it's no different. Yeah, I'm gonna set. So load this video up. We'll watch it at the same time. And then you just shout pause whenever you want to stop and talk about something, and then I'll pause it on my side as well. Yeah.
bad news is I've already seen this video.
But... No, but that's fine, because I want to talk to you about it. I've already seen the video. I've already seen other people talk about that video. Do you know what I mean? Like Asmongold and Shroud and stuff. So I just want to talk to you about it.
I want to get the 375 one.
Really? So, okay, so
the name reservation.
Oh, do you not get down to 250? No. Oh shit. Okay, but I'm thinking maybe nobody's gonna pick LiamH on my account. I mean, is anybody gonna pick? Yeah.
You don't want the name LiamH on.
No. I just want one of my accounts. Okay, because this is my thing, right? So because we didn't do this on WoW Classic, so I want to do it this time, right? We both have our mains. That's fine. We'll all play at different times. But me and you, Pep, right? And other people, it's hard when you had a bit like network save, because we will find time to both stream at the same time and stuff. Stasmas, I'm going to get back to you. Just give me a second. I've read what you've said. I will get back to you, I promise, right? But a bit like network save where we do it together. I want a character where no matter what, we only play that character when we're both on together. Do you know what I mean? And we can fucking go around dueling it. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
We both have our mains. You'll be fucking level 90 by the day. I mean, I know it's only level 50, but you'll be level 50 by day 2, and I'll be there working. Do you know what I mean? You'll probably book time off.
Well, I mean, it'd be silly not to book time off, really. When
true.
Does launch, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I will probably sit, because obviously single man now, Pep, so I don't need to save all my time for like save things for like holidays and shit. So I can be like, shit, yeah, week off to play a game. Fuck it, let's go. The sad thing is I'll be about 30 by the time this game comes out. Right, so Pep, Sazmaz says here's the first question. Ashes of Creation has well, it's not really a question, has forced PvP, so I'm out just on that note. But Sazmaz, this video will explain it's not forced PvP in that sense. Okay, so if somebody walks up to you and ganks you and you don't react, you just let them kill you and then you res and you carry on your life, you don't really lose anything. The way they explained it, you don't really lose anything. Do you know what I mean? The person who kills you and you're not fighting back, they start to get basically, it's called corruption, and then eventually they are shown on the map to everybody, and then you can get a bounty quest and people can just go basically murder him down. Do you know what I mean? And steal all his stuff as well. Like, he will drop items, he'll drop, you know, gear and stuff. So it's not forced in the sense that you're just going to get ganked everywhere. People will stop ganking you, because once they gank you once or twice, that's it. They're going to be corrupted, and then people are going to smash them on the bounty system. So it won't happen, Sazmaz. And if you're playing with one or two more people, or two other people, your little party, people aren't going to come and fuck with you, you know?
I can see where Sazmaz is coming from. I mean, like you said, the video does go into detail about it. It's... The thing is, it hasn't got any factions in it, has it? Everybody's unique and they do their own thing. So it's hard not to have a PvP system for that sort of thing. Yeah. Okay, so Sazmaz says now he's basically copied and pasted something about the game. But Sazmaz, right? Do you know what the Caravan Battles are? They're things that you don't have to get involved in, right? So Guild Wars 2 had basically the exact same system, just on a smaller scale. There'd be these random little NPCs that will be doing these little mini caravans that will go from like one town to another town in the same map. If you decide, you can basically run over to it and help it fight off all the little mobs that try and attack it, and you get little bonuses and stuff. That's it. If you don't want to go and get involved in that little PvP on that little mini caravan things, you don't have to. You know what I mean? But Sazmaz, we'll watch this video, and this will explain PvP a lot better, because eventually people will stop PvPing you if you don't want to PvP them. By the way, it's fun to PvP, because they'll just get corrupted and they will lose their gear and they will lose their items and stuff like that. So, right, so Pep, you shout to me, pause every time you want me to pause it. You want to talk about someone that's just been mentioned, yeah? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, hang on, let me get volume first.
With the recent news,
I think I've got good volume. Right, so if you got it on 0 seconds, yeah?
I get it on 30 seconds.
Well, put it to 0 so we can sync up. Are you ready? Right, so 3, 2, 1, let's go.
With the recent news of Amazon's New World being delayed until 2021 and many hungry MMO fans being disappointed by this news, I decided that today I want to talk about the upcoming MMORPG that I personally believe to be the most promising, Ashes of Creation. Before we jump into it though, this video has no sponsor and took me a crazy amount of time to make, both with research, fact checking and editing, so if you'd like to support my work for free, this game has an issue for your house to commemorate our struggles through COVID-19.
Absolutely.
So for those of you that have never heard of the game before, what is Ashes of Creation? Ashes of Creation is a Western-made sandpark MMORPG that's focused on a strong mix of both PvP and PvE content. This game was initially kickstarted 3 years ago, but was already fully funded to completion via private investment from the game's creative director, Stephen Sharif. Unlike many of the Eastern MMOs that have had Western releases over the past few years, Ashes of Creation has consistently said from day one that there will be no pay to win in this game. Due to this, the game will operate with a no box cost subscription fee business model with a cosmetic only cash shop. The thing that makes Ashes of Creation the MMORPG that I'm personally the most excited for is the sheer scope of the project. This game seems to be combining all the best aspects from all the top MMOs over the past 10 years and combining it into one game, with all of that being tied together by the game's most unique feature, its node system.
Pause a sec, pause. James says, fuming at no pay to win, how they expect idiots like me to compete. Listen, James, I seen you play mage in World of Warcraft. All right, listen, the less spoken about that, James, the better. Okay.
I've not seen any of that. Did James ever play on?
Yeah, he played WoW Classic. He came and joined me for about 5 minutes and then just like died everywhere, and it was really bad, you know.
A lot of people died on that PvP server.
True, I got ganked quite a few times. I'm sure I was getting stream sniped at one point as well. I couldn't fucking move from a spot. But yeah, so the no pay to win thing. I mean, boys, you can't fucking complain. Listen, nobody wants to play an MMO where you're supposed to sink your life into it basically, and then people are like, oh yeah, I'm already max level because I bought some token for fucking 50 quid. You'd be like, what? True, James.
I'm not sure how many MMORPGs are out there with mechanics like that.
I know Lord of the Rings Online now has it, so they have so like 3 or 4 occasions a year. Obviously it's an old ass game. 3 or 4 occasions a year you can buy a token which gets you all the way up to a certain level, and it gives you a like a bunch of like items at that, you know, basic items at that level, so you can like then continue to play the game on from there if you want. So like that's just one game, do you know what I mean? Lamore, welcome in.
Actually, EVE Online is very much like that. You can buy skill injectors and buff up your character via that. So that makes sense.
Yeah, there's also some new game coming out in a few years. I think Star Citizen it might be called, where you can literally just buy the best ships, but it's like hundreds of pounds, and you'll just have a better ship than somebody else who can't afford it. You know.
You say Star Citizen? That's been out in beta for fucking years. That game.
It might be that game. There's a guy in work who's like, "Oh my god, I bought the best ship for like 400 quid." I'm like, what? You bought an in-game ship for whatever. Do you know what I mean? Whatever.
It's a very rocky development, that game.
Yeah.
So James says as well. Yeah, it's very rocky.
You ready to play again? Yeah. I'm on 143. Right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Throughout the world in Ashes of Creation, there's points of interest on the map called nodes. These nodes are basically areas that can progress to different stages of civilizational development as players kill monsters, quest, gather, and adventure within that node's area of influence. Starting out day one when the game first launches, the world will be pretty empty. But let's say you and a group of friends all decide to kill mobs and gather in a certain area. Over time, you'll be contributing XP to that area's node, and an expedition will appear.
Yeah.
So, in essence, I don't think there's any need to actually leave your node once you start in it, is there?
No, yes, there is. So you would leave your node. So like there's 4 types of nodes. Like there's the scientific one, the military one, that kind of thing. So if you want to be like a certain type of crafter, for example, or a certain type of, you want to own your skills. If you let's say you want to be the best PvPer on your server, you would go and join a military node. But if all of a sudden you wanted to just change and you wanted to be like one of the best crafters or whatever, I'm not saying the right ones, you would then probably leave and go and join a scientific node. So yes, you would leave nodes if you wanted to change the style of play that you wanted to do.
But in essence, you
don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to, do you?
Yeah.
Which would be very interesting.
Yeah, like you could literally be there day one. You could have like a day one image of like the land being like just like trees and grass and shit. And then like a year later, you could be like, guys, look what just happened in the past year. We've now got a metropolis. Do you know what I mean? And we're like sick. And you could literally be like, we built this. Like the effort we put into the game, we built this. That you can't say that in any other game, can you? MMO?
Well, EVE Online would be the closest I would say to that. I don't know if you know too much about EVE Online.
That's the one like spaceships and that you all fight each other, right? In big raids and stuff?
Yeah. But the thing is, with this as well, you know, it takes however long to build up a node, and then some dipshits from another fucking. See, I personally think the military one, if you're gonna go down that route, it's gonna be really hard to stop them knocking down everybody else's nodes. Really, is it?
Well, I don't know, because
there's balancing issues involved with that, I would imagine.
Yeah, but essentially, when so there's only time, so only like once a month or once a week or something, one node essentially can attack another node. So it's all timed and stuff. So you'll get like a 4-day warning. Your node's being attacked in 4 days. So you know, on your server, your couple hundred people that are in your node, you know that you're gonna be prepped, ready for this date, this time. Everyone log in. Let's go have a fucking huge battle. You know what I mean? To try and save our node, which I think is sick. It's not like you're gonna wake up in the morning and you're gonna be like, shit, my city's on fire, everything's gone. Like, that can't happen. Do you know what I mean? They're doing it so like you have to kind of like book in when you're gonna attack, which I think is like, in terms of like enjoyment, I think that'll be way better. Because I imagine somebody raid your base in Scum when you're asleep. It's like, oh mate, I didn't even have a chance to defend it.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with that sentiment. Yeah, I think it is all about having it at specific points and points in the day, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think one more thing that's sick about the nodes as well. That CEO guy, he said that so like the nodes will be split up. So like there'll be like, say, I don't know, 10 different nodes per server, but like every server will be different. Some people will literally start and be like, we want to go to the farthest possible node and we want to create that one. Whereas other servers will be like, oh, we want the 4 closest ones. Do you know what I mean? So every server will look completely different. Like when you watch like 10 different streamers play this game, you'll be like, shit, that's what that node could look like if we'd have got it, you know, built up and stuff. It's not like playing the same, oh, this guy's in Goldshire. Oh, everybody knows what, do you know what I mean? Everywhere's gonna be fresh and different, exciting to look at. I don't think Pep agrees.
It's gonna be no, well, yeah, no. I get the whole, you know, every server is going to look different and it's going to be a progressive live service at the end of the day, isn't it? But yeah, it's I don't know what the word is. I'm trying to search for the right word, but it's not coming to me yet, so bear with me. But anyway, we can play.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Appear with quests. As more players are drawn to that area, it will level up into an encampment with more quests, more NPCs and more opportunity. After that, the node levels up into a village, town, city, and finally a giant sprawling metropolis with more opportunity, world events and quests appearing at each stage of development. Now that's a very simplified explanation of the Ashes of Creation node system, but on top of that there's also a lot of variables within this system. For example,
I don't know if they've explained, but basically, yeah, it's going to take you like a while. You can't just do it in a week.
And the location of that node dictates the quest.
About 45 seconds, it tells you in the bottom left.
Oh, wait, to what time? What time on the video?
With more quests, more NPCs, and more opportunity.
Oh, here we go. So, yeah, James, is exactly what you're asking for. So, node stage. Okay, so to get it from, like, basically a plain-ass field to an expedition, which is like that little tiny little encampment, that could take a few hours. To get it to a camp, many hours. To get it to a village, a few days. To get it to a town, many days. And by the way, this is only... Move your mug. Oh, sorry. Okay. Move my mug. There you go. So, village, a few days. A town, many days. A city is a few weeks. That's just to get to a city. And then the metropolis is many weeks. So you're talking like 4, 5, 6 weeks. But don't forget, that's only if you have a ton of people all dedicated on your exact node. You might have not quite the most popular node, which means it might take you a long time. It might take you... And don't forget, if your node gets fucking completely wiped out, you're going to start again. So it's not like you're going to be like, oh, I've got my node in 6 weeks. We're a metropolis. Look at us. We're good. You know what I mean? And then obviously you've got all the things outside of the node system where you want to... You know what I mean? You want to go and play later on.
This game is going to be an absolute clusterfuck for the first 6 weeks.
I just think it's going to be so exciting, though. Like I said,
it's going to be absolutely fucking exciting, but it's just going to be an absolute fucking mess. So there's going to be people everywhere doing all kinds of fucking stupid shit that nobody's going to have a fucking clue.
Yeah, but
absolutely have a clue.
That's what'll be good, though. Do you know what I mean? Like somebody random will just become like the best crafter on the server without even knowing it, and then they'll be like, "Shit, I'm rich as fuck."
But the thing is, as well, the alpha testers and the certainly the alpha 1, alpha 2, they're going to have significant impression over how the servers develop. I would imagine, because they'll have the most influence over
True.
their audience. And
yeah, true. Well, don't forget we can get into Alpha 2, which if I had to predict, I'd be like March, maybe next year. It is what I would just roughly guess when Alpha 2 will be. But don't forget, in Alpha 1, which is the end of this year, they've said there's only going to be roughly 20% of the entire start and game area available. So it's not like they can like dominate, do you know what I mean? Because they'll only know 20% of the map. If they even get that far in the game, they might not get that far. They might only get to the first 3-4%, and they're trying to work out how do you do crafting, and they don't even explore it, do you know what I mean? So some people just be trying to go into dungeons and stuff and just insta dying because they're not high enough levels.
Oh, I remember that fondly.
What's that?
Just being a fucking idiot and traveling around the world dying inexplicably because you don't know where you are.
Yeah. Here we go. Sazmaz says this game is gonna die within 6 months. Sazmaz, please give me your reasons. Why do you think that? Why do you think that? We'll play the video again. So I'm on 224. I'm gonna play in 3, 2, 1, go.
After that, the node levels up into a village, town, city, and finally a giant sprawling metropolis with more opportunity, world events and quests appearing at each stage of development. Now that's a very simplified explanation of the Ashes of Creation node system, but on top of that there's also a lot of variables within this system. For example, at launch there will be 103 different possible node locations, and the location of that
103
node
nodes in the world
and world events triggered upon development. At this point you're probably thinking, well, what happens when every node reaches its final stage? Wouldn't that become boring? Well, due to how the system's designed, this isn't possible. In leveling up one node, you lock out the possibility for adjacent nodes to grow to the same size. To change this and de-level a node so that adjacent nodes can progress, players will need to participate in a PvP node siege to destroy a city, for example, so the town node near to it.
Yeah.
Right, so this is the forced PvP that Sazmaz is essentially going on about. So
I'm on 321. Where are you up to?
321.
Oh yeah, go on, yeah.
Okay, so essentially, if you're a scientific node, and you want to, you're not allowed the same 4 nodes in the same areas, are you? Is that what it just said?
Yeah. So basically,
similar to that. So you're not allowed 4 metropolises all connected, are you? One metropolis.
You're gonna be spread out.
City. So, in order to get the scientific metropolis that you're gonna need in order to craft stuff, or the militaristic style of things, you've got to constantly be knocking off people's metropolises, which is the kind of forced PvP that I think Sazmaz is.
You say constantly though. It's been described in another video that it doesn't happen that often. So like I said, you can. So once you've defended your metropolis, for example, you can't be attacked for another 30 days.
No, I know. It's
and that's if somebody attacks you in 30 days. I don't know. All I'm thinking here is like, it's gonna make you want to carry on playing the game. Do you know what I mean? You've built up your city, your metropolis over 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks, whatever it takes you, and your server. You've built your own town, place. You know what I mean? Orange Banana Peel, welcome in, man. Metropolis is 50 days. Okay, so after 50 days, you built up your metropolis, right? You're gonna want to defend that, even if you don't play for a day or two because you're busy working or whatever. And then all your mates say, "Oh shit, we just been alerted that we're getting raided in 4 days' time." You're gonna be like, "Shit, I'm gonna be there. I do not want my metropolis to go down to some other guild or to some other like metropolis out there." Do you know what I mean? No way. And it's gonna drag you back into the game. You're not gonna want all your hard work to just be gone. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna really like be invested in it.
This, just the way this whole system's come about, it just seems like a very disorganized version of EVE Online. And I'm saying that in terms of the fact that EVE Online is such a rigid way of playing it, and everything's run by not only leaders but diplomats and this, that, and everything else, and everything's very structured in EVE Online. Whereas this, you don't know who's gonna. Well, obviously you're gonna have the town mayor, but how are people? I mean, are people going to be all part of the one guild in this one thing, or is it going to be multiple guilds? Is it going to? It just seems a bit. I mean, how do you? I mean, is everybody going to be blue to each other, or is everybody going to be red to each other? I'm using blue and red as in terms of online, but it just I need to see more about it. To be fair,
yeah,
I mean,
obviously
the principle behind it is okay. because obviously I've played EVE Online and I like EVE Online and I get the way that they do that. And if it's anything like it, then this game should be good. But it just seems like it's a little disorganized compared to what EVE Online is.
Yeah, James says, was it structured in EVE at the start, or did it take time to create the ecosystem?
EVE Online is or was very quickly structured. The thing is with EVE, I think in the first couple of years, only 2 or 3 Titans were ever built, but now there's more and more and more and more and more because obviously people are aware of the game and it's a lot easier to do these things these days. But no, you didn't actually build a lot of stuff in EVE Online. Nowadays, you can build Keep Stars and Astro Houses and all these sort of player-owned structures that take fucking weeks to fucking bash down, which is going to be exactly like this node system. So it's yeah, it's different because back in the day with Eve, there were stations that or NPC stations that you couldn't destroy. I mean, you could evict players from space, and then you'd build up your own. Well, the thing is, with the you didn't actually build up your space. That back in those days, there wasn't anything to sort of. Essentially, if you wanted to move into that space, you just logged into the station or docked into the station, moved a load of stuff there, and just fought it out with whoever else was there until somebody ran out of ships, essentially. And whoever ran out of ships first ended up vacating the system. Essentially, that's all it was. There wasn't any sort of
So when you say with this though, Pep, like you don't understand it, and is it going to be a mess, and whose guild or what? How's it going to work? These aren't negative things. You just don't know the game yet. Like, imagine when World of Warcraft first started, do you know what I mean? And there was like 2 different, there was the Alliance and the Horde, and everyone was like, oh, how does this work? Can you just spawn in here? Or how do you know? Nobody fucking knew until you played the game, or obviously when it came to close to being released and you watch people play the game, and it's fully explained. So it's not, I wouldn't say this is a negative thing. I'd say this is a really exciting thing. And yeah, I mean, so far anyway, I mean, we have to watch it properly. Do you want to play again? Right, 3, 2, 1.
It has room to grow, and different content can then be unlocked. The way this system is designed intends for long-term player-driven replayability, where each server will have a different history of development and unlocked content. No 2 servers will be the same. An MMORPG
pause. Sorry, Statsman, I did actually miss your big message. Sorry, mate. Just because our flagging system gives corruption to player killers, doesn't mean PvP won't happen. There is plenty. Statsman, all I can say is, if you don't like PvP at all, if you're literally scared of it or you just don't enjoy it, you know what I mean? Like, I get that. If you just don't like PvP, do you know what I mean? I did read the other one though, I just didn't read it out loud. So MMOs in the 90s, people demand too much nowadays and people can't work together and there is no social anymore. So I predict that from it, release within 6 months, it will be a desert game. I mean, you can predict all you want, who knows? Do you know what I mean? Who knows? But yeah, so Sasmas, if you don't enjoy PvP, then I don't know, maybe all right, you're one of the X amount of people who don't enjoy PvP, but I don't understand why PvP is a bad thing. You could be really good at PvP, Sasmas, do you know what I mean? Or you could just be a class where you can evade PvP, you know, like a rogue or a burglar or whatever it's called in each game, where you can like stealth a lot and you can just stay away from people, do you know what I mean, if you want. Or you can find some friends in the game, Sasmas, run around in a little team and nobody will fuck with you, you know? Yeah. Ready to play? All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
True ever-changing world. When it comes to node aesthetics, there will also be a lot of diversity here too, as the node will take on the architectural appearance of the race that contributed the most XP to its development. So let's say a guild of orcs went to an area and contributed the most XP to a node, building it up to a town. You've then got a town with an orcish aesthetic. Maybe a guild of dwarves wanted to explore a node in the mountains. They could eventually have their own dwarven city in the mountains. The aesthetic of the node changes at every level of development based on the race that contributes the most XP to the node. On top of all this, each node in the world will be assigned one of 4 possible node types, with each having unique benefits. You've got divine, economic...
Oh yeah, pause it here. Yeah. So yeah,
you're gonna have issues with that, or not necessarily issues with that, but you're gonna have hardcore. The thing is, you will have hardcore people and hardcore guilds that will specifically enforce their will upon different nodes, i.e., the whole system with orcs making an orc city and dwarves. You will have those anal people that will do that. That's absolutely gonna fucking happen.
Yeah, but again, I don't see this being a bad thing, because I might be of the part of, oh mate, I want to live in a fucking elven kind of city. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of place I want to live in. So I would be like, right, let's go find out where the most elves are. I'm saying if there's even elves in this game, you know what I'm saying? And then you'd go and, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't see any of this. All I'm seeing here is it's not a bog standard MMO where you get your bog standard player house, which is normally instant, so nobody can even see it. So there's no point in it because other than item storage. This is more like, do you know what I mean? It's going to be open to the world. I can literally walk past your house one day and be like, oh, there's Pep getting pissed in his house. He's buying in-game drinks. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can see your house inside that node and stuff. So far, I don't see any of this being like a potential bad thing. I'm thinking that they're trying to, yeah, part of your Pep's house. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's what it could be like. So Sasmas, all I'd say to that is though, where you said you did 7 months of like PvP grinding, and then 2 weeks after that, they then gave all the gear that you earned to new people. Again, that's World of Warcraft. Don't judge this game on World of Warcraft in any good or bad way. Don't be like, this will be better or this will be worse. This is not World of Warcraft. This is not your bog standard MMO. Do you know what I mean? It's because, like, do you remember games like Rift and ESO? Do you ever play Rift, or did you ever see Rift?
I didn't play Rift, but I played ESO quite
so obviously in ESO they have those actual things called rifts that come out the sky, and there's like a little mini boss and some things, and you run over and kill them all. Yeah, in Rift that was the entire game, rifts. So they were basically 2 MMOs that were fucking massively cringily alike. I mean, I'm saying Elder Scrolls in a way technically copied Rift, I would presume, because Rift came out early. But what I'm trying to say is they were very, very similar MMOs. You know what I mean? This doesn't, you know, and eventually, Sasmas, you never know. It could come to the point, Sasmas, where over the first couple of months, people like you really don't like the PvP thing, which again, I think you can still avoid this. I think you're thinking there's going to be a bigger issue than what it is for you if you don't like PvP. I actually think after a couple of months, if there's so many people hating on the whole PvP system, they'll just bring out PvE servers, and then there'll be no issue. Do you know what I mean? Granted, there won't be PvE in the sense of you won't have guild wars, and you won't have battlegrounds, and you won't have nodes versus nodes. That will happen because that's the game. That's what makes it so interesting. Do you know what I mean?
I'm inclined to understand where Sazbaz is coming from. Now, playing World of Warcraft for Ion 15 years, and obviously playing Classic on PvP server when Phase 2 came out, I can completely understand why a PvPer or somebody is so against PvP because of the absolute fucking clusterfuck that was World of Warcraft Classic and the PvP system in that. Completely get it. I can completely understand it, and I can relate to it. And I am genuinely fearful about the whole ganking system and whatever it's not in Ash's creation. But I'm leaning towards the hope that it's not going to be anywhere near as cancerous
Yeah.
as World of Warcraft Classic was.
Yeah, I get that, because even in Classic, like I tried to. There was some areas I was just casually questing, and people of a high level will come in and just kill you, like, which is daft. But you're presuming that people are going to do that in this game, Sazmas. You're presuming it's going to happen. You're going to presume that there's so many people running around ganking people. Again, the people who gank people get the corruption on them, and then they get ganked by the bounty hunters, and then they lose all the gear and stuff. So eventually, even the people who just want to log into a server to annoy people are going to get fed up because they're going to be bounty hunted, and then they're going to lose their shit. And then they're going to have to go re-PvE to get all the gear back from dungeons and quests and stuff, and then go re-gank people. So all I'm trying to say, Sazmaz, is, so I wouldn't be so negative thinking, oh, everybody's going to be ganking each other. That might not happen. People might just be happy to, on your server, if you find a friendly enough server, people might just be happy enough to not gank each other in the middle of a fucking pond where you're trying to collect some crab meat or something. Do you know what I mean? So,
but on that note, it will happen. There will be those people. There will be fucking guilds like that. But the vast majority of people, there will be, like, just like I said about the, you know, the hardcore people, the hardcore ones that want to go for the orc cities, the hardcore and dwarf cities, and the hardcore ones that want to go for the fucking metropolis quickly.
Yeah.
There will be hardcore ganking guilds. Absolutely. It's just, you know, there's it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's you'd like to think that either people won't react to it, or there'll be an even bigger counter guild to that.
Yeah, exactly. You could go and join a guild, Sazmaz, which is like, you know, one of the holy guilds that is so anti-PvP that when anybody in the guild gets PvP'd, that they all then go and join up and go kill them all and, you know, fight back and stuff like that. Or Sazmaz, you know, if you can't beat him, join him. Go join a PvP guild and have mates around you. Do you know what I mean? Again, Sazmaz, I'm being honest, mate. I think you're being incredibly negative. You're trying to see the worst possible outcome for the open world PvP. And Pepper's a little bit as well, but you're trying to see the worst in it. You're not even giving it a chance. Do you know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't say I was being negative towards it. Well,
Because of what's happened in WoW.
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware of what's happened in WoW, and as such, you know, I'm very skeptical of PvP servers. I'm very skeptical of PvP in general, mainly because it's not what I enjoy. Just like Sazmaz, he enjoys the PvP side of things. Yeah, cautious. Yeah, I'm a cautious kind of guy as well. I prefer when I'm in the mood to do some questing, grinding, whatever the case may be. I want to do that uninterrupted. I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to, because when I'm in the mood for it, I'm in the mood for it. And if somebody comes along and then suddenly fucks your evening up because he wants to be a dipshit, then that's going to fuck me off.
He can't fuck your evening up though, because he kills you once, he's instantly marked. And then if he kills you again, for example, and you don't fight back, he's basically instantly corrupted. And then he's got bounties on him that are going to go and kill him. And then he's lost all his gear, and then he has to go start back at his normal location. And do you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's. But what I'm trying to say, or what I'm trying to sort of get the vibe of what Sazmaz is saying. I mean, I'm old and grumpy, just like him. Yeah. I mean, cautious is the word. I'm not going to be like, oh my fucking god, this is going to be the savior to MMOs, because there has to be some form of cautious. You've got to be a little bit sort of skeptical of massive PvP games like this. It's just, you know, how do you find that fine balance? I don't think there's going to be a fine balance for the first sort of 6 months of the game, and if it doesn't find a good balance, then the player base will drop off very quickly, like Sazmaz said. But if they do get it right, then, you know, it's got the makings of a good game. But it has to be right. It really does have to be right, because it will kill off the player base.
Yeah, Sazmaz though, that comment there from I don't know how you say his name. Is it Grifter? Or Greifter, I don't know how you pronounce that, but yeah, so Sazmaz, you're not reading that correctly. You're putting an power going, oh look, I'm correct. No, a corrupted player is somebody who has already done some ganking and they are now grifted. Okay, so a corrupted player is somebody. So I've gone and found you, Sazmaz. I've just killed you for the sake of it. You're, you know, not happy about it. You didn't fight back. I've then gone and killed another person. I am now a corrupted player, which means you can come and attack me, or a randomer can come and attack me and not have any issues about losing their gear. They're just going to come and kill me to get one back over on the corrupted player. There's no risk for you, Sazmaz, the person who didn't want a PvP in the first place. Do you know what I mean? So basically, it's to stop people from just randomly ganking people all the time. You can do it once or twice, and then you're corrupted. Once you're corrupted, quests unlock for people all over your server. Will see you on the map. Like, you know, I've been playing Valorant and use the dart to find out where you are. People will know exactly where you are, and then they're going to come and kill you, and you're going to lose your items and gear. So it's literally to stop people from constantly ganking. If you're happy to lose all your gear and then go and replay the game, well, go play all the content again for another 20, 30, 40 hours to get all your gear back, and then go and gank somebody again once every couple of weeks when you've got all your gear back, then all right. But again, so Sazmaz, it's that system in place. If it works... we don't know if that system works. It's to stop people from just randomly ganking people, and eventually somebody's not going to want to walk over to you, Sazmaz. You're 10 levels lower, you know, you're fishing in the fucking pond or whatever, minding your business. Somebody 10 levels higher isn't going to want to gank you, because do you know what I mean? They're going to just lose their shit. They're only going to want to start fighting people who are also PvP. They lose 300 to 400% XP plus items if they die corrupted, so there's a huge risk. Exactly. So Sazmaz, somebody will come and kill you once, you'll be pissed off, but that guy will go and lose all his shit. Do you know what I mean? Is this open world game like GTA 5? I mean, it's not like GTA 5, but yes. It's literally like you just walk. It's the entire. The only thing that's not open world is there'll be some instances where you have to, like, you take your team into a dungeon. And there could be several versions of that dungeon. So like me and my team are playing a dungeon, that Pep is playing a dungeon. But yeah, or apart from that, it's completely open world. Do you know what I mean? Some of those players don't care about being corrupt. No. They will care about, like I said, 300, 400% XP I mean, like, you could, I presume maybe you could de-level. So Sazman, somebody could come and kill you and then de-level and then lose their gear. You know, the chest of invincibility that they got from I'm making shit up, from a big raid. They're just gonna lost that. They have to go and do it all over again. King of the North, no, it's not out now. The Alpha 1 is due out towards the end of this year. And then who knows after that. I'm trying to be predicting and saying towards the end of next year, maybe it'll be out. If we're being realistic, start of 2022. We're being really realistic, because they reckon that by the end of this year they'll have roughly 20% of the world maps of the start of the game, because they'll add stuff later. They'll have roughly 20% of that made. But then obviously they're also adding more developers. They just hired, like, they're just trying to hire another 20, 30, 40 developers. Part way through next year they'll hire probably another 20, 30, 40 developers. That will speed up the process of building up the maps, and then obviously hopefully speed up when the game comes out a little bit. That'd be nice. Can you go mage, pro, major, me? Yes. Apparently there's 64 potential classes. Is that right? 64?
Yeah.
64 potential classes. Anyway, this little box down below that we paused on. So they have different node types. And I think one of the things which is really, really interesting. So the scientific node, let's say you want to become mayor for the month of the scientific node, right? This is so good, right? It's a popularity contest. So all the people who are part of your node, let's say 600 people are part of your node, they will all vote for one person each, and whoever's the most popular person, so like a big ass streamer, they will become mayor of the scientific node. And then you think, oh, that's not fair. I'm not a big popular streamer, but I'm fucking sick of PvP. Well, you go and rock over to a military node, they literally battle royale it, and the winner of the battle royale for that node becomes mayor for the month. How diverse is that? If you're a king PvP, and then obviously one of them is economic, maybe, the more money you physically give, so you've earned all your money through all your shit that you do, the more money you give, you become mayor for a month, which means you get to fly a mount for a month and stuff like that. And then I think, what was the other one? So you've done money, and then the other one is the person who puts the most amount of effort. So if you're a pure quester, you can just grind it for like 12 hours a day. If you put the most amount of effort into your node, you become mayor for the month. So there's so many different ways you become, if you're interested in mayor, so many different ways you can do it. I think that's fascinating. The battle royale one, to become military node mayor, name a game that does that. There isn't one. Do you want to play? Let me put my camera back down here then.
Keep it where it is, to be fair, because there's lots more of that shit that pops up.
Yeah. So I'm on 422. You ready? Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Economic, militaristic, and scientific node types. Advancing a scientific node over an economic node, for example, will give different building options for players to manage in the node, such as libraries, colleges, and artisan buildings, whereas if they leveled up an economic node, they could build markets, stock exchanges, and trade-focused buildings.
So like, depending on which, so this is how you would decide, Sazmaz. Depending on which type of node it is, depends on which type of building that can be built there. Do you know what I mean? You might not care about crafting, for example. You don't give a crap. You just want I don't even know this. So you might what else have we got here? So taverns, there you go, Pep, you'll be happy. Taverns.
Amen, brother.
So I'm trying to think of a one here. So like, what have we got? Armory. Oh, so node buildings. Where does it say? Node governments decide the location and types of constructible node buildings to be constructed within sectors of a node, marketplaces, stuff like that. So basically, yeah, so you might want to do a certain type of crafting, and then you would go to that node because you're going to get the best out of it. You're going to get the most out of it by being a part of that. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be free. Okay, so King... Yeah. Sorry, go on. What are you saying to James?
Amen, James.
Thieves Guild for the Scousers. Listen, that is racist. Okay, that is racist. So King of the North, when let's say the game came out tomorrow, you could download it 100% for free, but then like World of Warcraft, for example, you would pay $15 a month or £12, like Pep said, to continuously play it. If you played that game for 1 month and didn't like it, it's cost you £12. But then alternatively, you don't spend 50, 60, 70 quid to unlock the game to start playing it, like most games that come out nowadays, AAA games, you know what I mean? And then they've also said as well, all the updates and all the DLCs, they will all be included in your $15 a month, do you know what I mean? And this is something, King of the North, because there's a King of the North who said he's never played on before. Yeah, so King of the North, you might be thinking, fuck, what? Consistently pay for a game? What? World of Warcraft has like 10 million subscribers. 10 million people, I think it's 10 million, consistently have done this for the past 15, 20 years. Just because it's racist doesn't mean it's wrong. Wow. It'll be overrun. Wow. And I couldn't delete it 100% free. War is military guards in town and bounty hunter guild to track corrupted players. Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? I'm so excited for this game.
The PvP system is somewhat designed in order to focus you around node PvP. And yes, it's open world, but the way it seems as though it's setting itself out, yes, there will be PvP, but there's an insurance policy there with the corruption system, isn't there?
Yeah. It's gonna like stop people from doing it. Ready to play? Yeah.
Yo.
Sweet. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Each node upon hitting the village stage of development will have a 1-week cooldown before node elections begin. In this, players can try to become the mayor of the node. As a mayor, you get to allocate resources, set the tax rate, and initiate quests to advance the node, as well as choose building projects contained within that node. The way the mayoral election system is designed is different for each
64 classes.
type.
What the fuck?
For scientific nodes, it's a popularity contest where you vote another player in. For economic nodes, it goes to the highest bidder. For divine nodes, the player with the most node-related service quests completed will become the mayor, and militaristic node mayors will be decided via a last man standing battle royale type minigame where players interface through a champion rather than their own character. Obviously, bad mayors will be a thing that exists in this game, so every month the election process will happen again so that other players have the chance to challenge for mayor. Other than its node system, Ashes of Creation is also aiming to have a diverse range of content to appeal to pretty much every type of MMORPG player. Let's start with some of the PvP content that will be present in this game.
There you go,
PvP content in Ashes consists of open world flagging, caravan PvP, duels, battlegrounds, castle sieges, node sieges, arenas, and guild wars. But before all of you PvE players get scared off at the thought of open world PvP, you'll be happy to know that this game has anti-grief mechanics in the form of its corruption system. When it comes to corruption, players have 3 states: green, non-combatant, purple, combatant, red, corrupted. I've displayed an image on screen that shows how this system works, but from the point of view of a non-combatant PvE player minding their own business, if another player comes up to you and kills you, they will become corrupted and receive ever-growing penalties the more innocent players they decide to kill. Eventually, corrupted players can drop their items which can be looted by other players, they'll also lose more experience upon death, and also feel dampening in PvP so they become weaker. Corruption gained is also greater based on the level disparity, so a high level randomly killing a new low level player really isn't worth it. Additionally, the game will have a bounty system where players with high corruption score will appear on the map for bounty hunters to track down and kill for rewards, and NPC guards will also attack corrupted players on site, limiting their access to services within nodes. The Caravan Pvp system in Ashes is designed to bring risk vs reward gameplay. Due to storage being localized to each node and different areas of the map having easier or harder access to certain resources, players will need to transport goods between nodes via caravans. When a caravan is spawned, it will create a moving open world PvP zone. When players approach the caravan, they'll be given 3 options: attack, defend, or ignore. Caravans can transport goods from more than one player at a time, and I can imagine this system alone will bring about the existence of mercenary guilds who attack caravans or defend them when paid by other players. Castle Sieges will be a monthly event in which guilds can fight in a 250 vs 250 battle to take control of one of the 5
Right. 250 people versus 250 people. That is insane.
It is.
They actually pull that off.
They already have
fucks to them. However,
so this is one interview that you've not seen. So with the interview with, I think it was Shroud and Summit, I think it was that one, the CEO even said they are further testing 500v500, but they're not going to advertise that because that's not the plan. If they can 100% guarantee it, they will offer it. But right now, they've already got it working 250v250. Obviously, there'll be things where, like, for example, when you go into that, say, 250 versus 250 battle, things will happen like all of your, like, your skins and stuff will go to default to reduce lag and stuff like that. Some skills will be dampened, so you won't see, like, fucking 250 great firewalls. It'll just be sort of dampened a little bit, but you'll still be able to see the skills so they know what they are. But they said from what I remember in the interview, the CEO guy said like it's basically all they've done it. Like they've proven they can do 250 by 250. Do you know what I mean? So it will work. They have shown videos of 250 v 250 models running around at once. Have they really? Wait, hang on a minute. Wait, we should look at this really quickly. Let me have a look. I presume this is on theirs, right? Ashes of Creation. There, I can't even type for crap. Creation. Ashes of Creation. So if they've already got this working now, and the game's probably not even due out for another 18 months, you know what I mean? Like, holy shit. Videos. So, shit. Where will we see? Oh, I don't know. We might not be able to find it. I can't remember which video, but it's insane. Oh, man. So let's have a look. Development update, early housing footage, pre-alpha 4K gameplay, development update, early fields, alpha, early one, dungeon footage, early one preview. Fuck, we might not be able to find it now, but
I mean, if they've shown they can do it, then
yeah. Will it launch for Christmas? No. The alpha 1 will launch for Christmas, where you get to play it for like probably a couple of weeks or a couple of weekends and stuff. They said the movement of models is 85% of the server load to spell effects won't change much. Damn. Christmas 2022. Yeah, more likely it'll be, if I'm incredibly hopeful, like I said, it'll be the end of next year, 2021. But realistically, it's probably mid to late 2022, which is quite sad. It makes me really sad about that. You want to carry on, yeah?
Hi.
Sweet. 3, 2, 1.
Castles in the world. Node sieges are different to castle sieges and are the catalyst for change in the world. Node sieges can last up to 2 hours. If a node is successfully defended, it can't be attacked for a certain period of time in relation to the level of that node.
So I think it's 30 days.
For example, can't be attacked.
Oh, here we go. So yeah, so there you go, Stasmas. So your little node has just been attacked, right? Which you're unhappy about because you hate PvP. But your node has defended it. You've logged out, but your node have defended it anyway. If you're a Metropolis, you can't be attacked for another 50 days. You don't have to worry about people PvPing you, or in terms of like your entire node, for 50 days. Holy, do you know what I mean? Obviously less if it's a smaller place, but do you know what I mean? And I think this is exciting. You ready to play?
Alright.
Sweet. 3, 2, 1.
Days, whilst a metropolis cannot be attacked for 50 days if successfully defended. Additionally, once a node siege is declared, there's a period of time where many services in the node are shut down in preparation for war. For a village siege, there's 2 days notice, and for metropolis, there's 5 days notice. These node sieges can only be declared within a certain period of the server's prime time to give everyone a chance to attend. If a node siege is successful, the node is reset to 0, and players with resources stored in that node will lose some of those resources, and real space player housing will also be destroyed. Guild wars are another separate PvP system in Ashes of Creation, which basically allows guilds to declare war on each other and receive certain objectives to meet a victory condition. This system isn't fully fleshed out as of making this video, but it seems like a more in-depth version of what Black Desert Online currently has, with objective-based components mixed into it too. Guilds can be at war against multiple other guilds at the same time, and guild wars operate outside of the game's corruption PvP flagging system. I think duels, battlegrounds and arenas are fairly self-explanatory features that Ashes of Creation will have that we all like to see in MMOs, but overall when it comes to the PvP content this game will have, it sounds like everything I've ever wanted in an MMO, from the risk versus reward of the caravan system, to node sieges being the catalyst for change in the world, to the prestige of your guild owning one of the 5 castles on the server. It seems like this game has PvP content for everyone from casual to hardcore and everything in between.
There you go, Sazmaz.
Content will
You be happy
play a
now?
massive role in Ashes of Creation and features content in the form of quests, open world dungeons, instanced dungeons, open world raids, instanced raids, world bosses and monster coin events, as well as all the activities related to the growth of nodes. PvE dungeon and raid content in Ashes will be designed for group sizes of 8, 16 and 40 players. This game will feature a mix of both open world dungeons and raids, as well as instanced dungeons and raids, with 80% of them being open world and 20% of them being instanced. There will be no group finder in this game, so you'll need to join guilds and find party members via social interaction if you want to partake in a lot of PvE content. The way open world dungeons and raids will work is that they increase in difficulty the deeper you venture inside. At the entrance you might be fighting weaker, lower level mobs with fewer mechanics, but as you get deeper into the dungeon you'll fight tougher enemies with more mechanics and better loot. Additionally, something you need to bear in mind is that all of the PvE content that's available in Ashes depends on the location of the nodes that the community decides to develop. One server may have access to completely different raids and dungeons to another server, purely because their nodes developed differently in different locations.
So it's not regurgitated dungeons.
The endgame PvE content really isn't a linear progression. It can't be a linear progression because different raids and dungeons will be locked or unlocked depending on where nodes are developed and what stage they're.
Right, so for anybody who so let's say you want to have 8 different classes, 8 different characters. How boring is it in an MMO? This is one thing I struggle with Classic, where you replay through you go to the same towns, you do the same quests, you do the same dungeons and the same quests, and you have to repeat it over and over and over again. In this game, you won't have to. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a character on each different server, or one, I don't know if they allow you to have more than one character on the same server. I don't know how that works. You could go in different nodes, for example. You will be doing completely different quests, completely different maps and areas, completely different dungeons. Everything will be fresh almost every single time you play this game, which I think definitely doesn't happen in an MMO. Alright, fucking none that I can think of. You always play the same shit over and over again, don't you?
Alright,
you ready to play again, yeah?
Yeah.
Sweet, let's go.
They're at. So in a way it could also be in a PvE player's best interest to participate in a PvP node siege to reset the node that unlocks a certain raid, so that another node can then be developed which unlocks a different raid. A fun unique piece of PvE content that I think a lot of people will enjoy in Ashes is its monster coin system. This is an event that either spawns randomly or following the advancement of a node, in which a horde of NPC monsters will spawn and attack the node. During this time players can use an item called a monster coin, which they can receive as a rare drop in game, to turn into a monster and assist the NPCs in attacking the node against other players. During a monster coin event, the node can't be destroyed, but buildings, services and NPCs can be disabled for a period of time. Quests in Ashes of Creation are divided up into 3 categories: events, tasks, and narrative quests. Events are things that happen in Ashes as a result of the development of the world. Successfully completing an event will have positive consequences such as buffs.
James, get out of
Failing
here.
events
You did
will
not
have
just
negative
listen to this video.
consequences such as natural disasters or node services being unavailable for a period of time. Tasks are quests without excessive amounts of text and story around them, such as collect X resources to help build a blacksmith for the node. And narrative quests are more traditional story quests that can be personal to your class, race, or the region of the world you're in, with some of these story arcs being locked behind further development of the nodes. If I was a role player, Ashes of Creation is without a doubt the MMORPG I'd be looking forward to the most. This game's being designed with so many great RP features to really add that extra level of immersion. First, let's talk about the extensive player housing system. This game will have 3 types of player housing: instanced apartments, real space open world freeholds, and static housing within nodes. Each of these 3 types of player housing become available once a node reaches village stage or higher. Instanced apartments will become available in a node if a mayor decides to construct apartment buildings within an empty plot. These will work similar to the housing system in BDO, where you approach an apartment door and you've got a list of options for whose apartment you want to visit. Static housing within nodes are real space player housing that players can buy that will be visible to everyone. You'll be able to decorate the front of your house with yard ornaments, seamlessly enter and exit,
People can come to your house in game
from a small cottage to a mansion as the node levels up. Freeholds are large real space player housing plots that can be situated within the zone of influence of a node, but not actually inside the node. Think of static housing as buying a townhouse that grows in size over time with the
Plymouth flag and put it in his house.
Freeholds as owning a set size plot of land in the countryside. Freeholds are roughly half an acre in size, and due to limited space in the world, players can only own one of these per account, whereas apartments and in-node housing are limited to one per server. There's many buildings you'll be able to place on your freehold, such as a blacksmith, stables, and other stuff related to crafting, role-playing, and other life skill-related content players might want to partake in. Each of these three forms of player housing will allow players to decorate them with furniture, some of which is functional, others just cosmetic, and when a node's destroyed, players will lose their housing. However, a template will be mailed to them so they can quickly load the layout of their housing hassle-free when they eventually find a new home. As with every good roleplay MMO, Ashes of Creation will feature a wide range of races. Currently, the game is planning on 9 playable races for launch, each of which have different cultures, which
I want to read all this
research.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! What time was we on then? I accidentally skipped back. What time are you on?
Oh, you're on it. 15:09.
15:09. Sweet. I accidentally skipped back.
Okay, so in theory, there are really 2 races. No, not 2 races, but 2 factions, isn't it?
So race breakdown, you've got like some kind of humanoids. You've got the Kalar and the Valoon. Empyrean elves. Oh shit, there are elves in this game. Sweet. Empyrean and I don't know what these words are. I see what you mean. So like you got like a yellow side and a blue side, but no, they said they don't have factions like that in the game. The hell is this, Liam? A future game that's coming out that I will be playing. Can you go an elven mage? I presume so. I think they said any race and any class can be a combination.
Yep, anything and everything.
Yeah. So like in some games, like especially on like Lord of the Rings Online, you're locked. So like an elf can't be like a fucking captain or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Ashes
just off the top of your head, then you'll be in a Pyrea elf then.
I want to look at them first. And then I also want to know if there are any, like in WoW, where there's like benefits depending on which race you pick, because then I might just pick the beneficial one. But I would probably like to be an elf. I'd say like an elf's better. I probably won't ever go an orc, I don't think. You've also got dwarves. Dwarves maybe. Humans a bit boring, aren't they? I probably will go some kind of elf.
Empyrean. That's probably the one I'm gonna go for.
Empyrean, yeah. What's the difference? Nature, balance, fury, all things. Balance in time and nature always. I don't know. These could mean so many different things. Elven mage for me. Gonna call myself Gandalf. Liam will be a half gnome scouser. Wow, he's so mean to me. Swedish gnome. They did say there are racial buffs. Yeah, exactly. So I'll double check him. If the racial buffs aren't massive, I don't mind. I'll go anything. But if they are, then I'll just tactically pick.
I'm hoping the racial buffs are going to be a little bit more balanced compared to World of Warcraft.
Some of these names are mad. Yeah, we playing on?
Yeah, I can do. I mean, I do like the. I mean, so there's 8 different races. Well, 4 different races and 2 subsections, and then 64 characters of each said thing. So I mean, that's not bad. And Vassetti, you're not a fucking mage. You're going to be an arc wizard.
Yeah, Vassetti, get told you're going to be one of those. Apparently.
All right, Vassetti, have a look at that link. I'll give you the class by class breakdown. Okay, so if you want to be a mage and your secondary build is a mage, you're an arc wizard.
Where does it say arc wizard? See, mage, you can go all these different types of mages.
Yeah. So
I see what you mean. Then secondary.
Mage, yeah.
Where the fuck is secondary on this list? Oh, mate, there's so many. Look at all these that you can be. Minstrel, lol. Oh, I see. Mage. Oh, I see the left-hand side of the table now. Mate, there's so many. Tank is a guardian. Love to see it. Rogue is assassin. Love to see it. Ranger is a Hawkeye. Fighter is a weapon master. Cleric is a high priest. Oh, these are, yeah, some of these are bog standard. I like these. Some of these are good. A mage bard will be a source. Oh, mate, these are sick. Look how many different combinations you could be. Spell hunter. What the hell does that mean? We have no idea, but we'll find out one day. Oh, mate. These are so sick.
I like the idea of a healing tank, which is an apostle. So I mean, that's what appeals to me at the minute. But we'll see.
Oh, mate. Battle mage. What the hell's a battle mage? That'd be well sick. About Gandalf with a sword. Let's go. Oh, mate. Some of these are good.
Oh, James, it's going to be a fucking nightmare. Absolute nightmare. And let's not beat around the fucking bush. It won't be perfect from the get-go. I mean, what did they do with World of Warcraft? They really fucked it up. Well, not fucked it up, but they really made each class very diverse for the first couple of years. And then obviously as the expansion started releasing, they sort of merged everything into one, you know. So paladins, you know, they had their blessings, etc., which in some respects made them so OP. But then obviously when the Horde got them in terms of the Blood Elves, you know, balanced it out, and then the spells started balancing out so that every class had a fear, every class had a anti-fear, had a break mechanic, etc., etc. So it's gonna be, yeah, I completely agree. It's gonna be a fucking nightmare trying to balance all this.
Oh, guess what they've called a ranger fighter? They've called it a strider. Boys, we're gonna be a strider. Let's go. That sounds fucking sick. I can't believe they named it.
You're an idiot.
Basically, after a Lord of the Rings character. Come on, that's gonna be so sick. Look what you can do. All of these sick skills. All of arrows. Oh, mate, let's go. Power shot. Let's go. Snare. Get wrecked. Track him. Oh, mate, let's go. Do you want to carry on the video?
Sure.
All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
And cultures, which will be reflected in the appearance of nodes that they contribute to the most. You've got two different variations of humans, dwarves, elves, orcs, and a race called the Tulnar, which live underground. Different races will have different racial abilities, and each race will have different base stats. However, there will be no gender lock for any of the races, and every race can play as every class. Other nice
so
RP
good.
features the game will have include an extensive emote system with interactable furniture, the ability to lean against scenery, sit on benches, and dance with other players. You'll be able to play party
Pep will be
games
drunk
with
and sleep on a
other players
bench.
inside of taverns, some being dice games, others involving cards.
Gambling,
You'll be able to join different types of social organizations in the game, such as the Scholars Academy, Thieves Guild, or Traders Company. And there will also be a marriage mechanic in the game that may unlock special quests and further functionality with player housing.
We'd have to actually be family though, Pep, because then we get the ability to port to each other.
Enough choices and customization in Ashes of Creation that each player's journey in this game will be completely unique, and it will also have
riding
all
a
the
giant
immersive
fucking
social
otter.
elements
Exactly,
that can help
Deathvice.
bring people together
Giant
in
otter.
an MMO. Professions and life skills in Ashes of Creation are referred to as artisan classes. These are split into 3 different trees: gathering, processing, and crafting. Gathering professions consist of fishing, herbalism, lumberjacking, mining,
Mate, I'm
and
gonna be a
animal
fisherman.
taming.
Let's go.
Processing professions basically refine raw
Dream
material
Trip will be all
via
over
the
this
use
game.
of certain freehold buildings, such as forges to process ore into bars, lumberyards processing logs to planks, and so on. Crafting professions consist of alchemy, armor smithing.
Go on, say what was you saying?
That, you know, you build up your freehold, and then you lose the fucking node. All that time and effort and money you've spent on that fucking house just gone.
No, but you don't lose everything, no. They said you only lose a percentage.
No. Well, no, the house gets destroyed until you if you lose the node.
Yeah, but like all of the resources and all of the gear you put inside, you only lose a percentage of it. So if you've got, for example, 100 wood logs, you'll lose 20, and 80 of it will get sent to your account.
Oh yeah. No. I just actually meant as in, you know, the fucking house. You built that house. You built all the stuff in it. You know, your forge, your foundries, etc.
Yeah.
And then actions out of your control, i.e., you're losing the node because you worked a fucking day, and you can't make it to the fucking raid. Oh, that'd be brutal. I
know, but it, like, come on, this makes it so interesting.
It makes it, yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I'm that sort of person. I'd be mortified if I built a house like this and it just got destroyed.
Absolutely. He says, I'm going to be an elven battle mage named Gandalf riding an elephant. Why the fuck not? James says, I'm going to be a dwarf that streams FM for my node. Wait, what? What the fuck? Def says, you get the layout of your plot in mail. What do you mean? And place it somewhere else? Oh, yeah. So you can move your own like personalized plot, yeah, around the world. That's pretty cool.
Alright, so I suppose if you do buy it, you don't lose it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So when you lose all of these from these PvP things that happen, you only lose a percentage. Do you know what I mean? So like if you're a caravan, you're sending 5,000 wood to another metropolis, and you lose the caravan, you don't lose 5,000 wood, but you lose like a chunk of it. Do you know what I mean? Which makes it risk and reward. It makes it exciting. Do you know what I mean? It's not as easy as just mailing 5,000 wood to your mate. Do you know what I mean? You've got to like journey across the planet and stuff to do it.
Oh, that's it. I'd just be gutted. You know, you spend 10,000 stone on a fucking statue, and then 5 days later it gets fucking wrecked. No.
Yeah.
It's if that's not gonna happen, that's okay.
So straight off the bat, yeah, crafting professions: alchemy, armor smithing, blacksmithing, carpentry, cooking. I don't think I'd ever do cooking in a game ever. Jewel crafting.
Cooking.
You're doing. Remember when you was gonna be our cook in Scum? What happened to that? You never really became
playing it, dipshit.
True. I don't remember getting a berry pie off you or anything. You know, I don't remember you. Scribes, shipbuilding. That's gonna be fucking sick, by the way. Siege weapons and weaponsmith. If I had to pick one of these right now, I'd say. Fuck, what would I be? I reckon armor smithing would be sick, because basically when you complete a raid, you get like a dropped item, and that item has to be, along with several other components, is then given to one of the best crafters that you've got, who then makes the raid armor, if that makes sense. They don't drop a chest of whatever. You drop the item, which is then used to make the chest of whatever. But you have to have like the highest level crafter to be able to do it, so you'd be in demand. Do you know what I mean?
Cooking and carpentry for me, just so I can make houses like this.
I'm gonna name mine Sulk Jaya and make a rogue / bard charlatan. What the hell? Necromancer is the best class. Necromancer, I never used to play Necromancer on, say, like for example, Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2. Never played Necromancer. I don't know why. It just bugged me the way the builds used to work. Both drop. There's 2 loot tables, huh? With different % chance of drops.
We get you, Athos. We get you.
Oh, I was in like Soul Shot. Okay, yeah. But you can craft raid level. Listen, you know what was really exciting? So I was watching the Summer and Shroud one, the interview with the CEO, and he says like, is there going to be like krakens, and is there going to be like, you know, like things to battle out in sea? And they said yes. You're going to have sea battles, sea raids, and also underwater raids as well, and underwater dungeons that you have to like battle through and stuff. Mate, it's going to be so good. There'll be sea content. Honestly, mate, it's going to be so good. You have to build ships. You're going to have to like have expert what are they called? Shipbuilders. Yeah, just shipbuilders to make you a fleet to then go out. But imagine if you get to another place and you have ship battles with another. Oh, mate, it's going to be so good. So good. So many classes you can't be a sailor.
I remember another game advertising ship battles.
Listen, now, okay.
That was a clusterfuck.
Atlas was on another level. Bad.
That was another level indeed.
It's the worst. It's the worst game I've ever played on day 1 launch. Also, it just looks really, really bad now. It'll be in VR, lol, imagine.
Is it actually still playing, is it?
Yeah, people still play the game. I don't know why, but
wow.
people still, not a lot of people, but people still play the game. You ready to play again, yeah?
Where are we at?
So I'm on, let's have a look. I'm on 1651. You die in game, you die in real life. No.
Alright, let's go.
Yeah, so Pep will be pissed in real life, he'll be pissed in game. Play, let's go.
Blacksmithing, carpentry, cooking, jewel crafting, scribing, shipbuilding, siege weapon building, and weaponsmithing. In this game, each character will only be able to truly master one profession.
Why not?
You'll be unable to master multiple. You'll still be able to progress with multiple professions, but not to the extent of mastery. This is to create the need for community interaction and create a sense of identity. Crafting in Ashes of Creation is also being designed so that it won't become irrelevant like in other MMOs. Crafted gear will be on par with the highest tier drops from raid bosses.
There you go.
And due to being limited to mastery of only one artisan class, guilds will have to organise multiple people to meet their crafting and gathering needs to initiate sieges, complete projects, and contribute to the node. Personally, the profession I'm most excited for is animal husbandry, as you'll be able to breed different animals together to create some really weird and wonderful mounts.
What? It's like Jurassic World Evolution.
The class system in Ashes of Creation is quite interesting and leads to a lot of variety. First, you'll start out by picking a primary class archetype between Bard, Cleric, Fighter, Mage, Ranger, Rogue, Summoner, and Tank. Eventually, as you progress with your primary class, you'll get to choose a secondary class out of the same 8 options I previously mentioned. So choosing to be a mage, then fighter for example, would give you the overall class of battle mage. With this system, there's a possibility of 64 different class combinations, which are displayed on screen now. Ashes of Creation will be designed around the Trinity system of tank, healer, and DPS. You will not be able to change your class's primary role, however with some effort you will be able to change your secondary role. Weapons and armor will not be class locked, but some classes will obviously be more efficient with certain types of armor and weapons. And when it comes to the game's combat system, it will use a tab target action combat hybrid system. The way this system will work is that each class will have 2 categories of skills: tab target skills and action combat style skills. Players can choose to have up to 75% of either tab targeting abilities or 75% action combat abilities, but not 100% either way. Personally, the way I'd imagine this system will play out will be something close to Guild Wars 2 or AOCLiamH. However, the action combat side of this combat system is still in development.
What?
I think a lot of the big streamers, and they make a very valid point, the game doesn't look, I know it's obviously pre-alpha, it doesn't, you know, World of Warcraft, it's just a fluid combat system. And unless they get that right, this isn't going anywhere, you know? It has to be a fluid system.
Yeah, it has to be good combat. But again, so like, don't forget, there's hundreds of people alpha testing this. If they were to openly say, this combat is a piece of shit, it would be changed. Do you know what I mean? I reckon it's going to be a little bit like, well, no, they explained it a bit like Guild Wars 2. In Guild Wars 2, it's like that. You can tab target where you ping skills, and there's other ones where you can like roll in to do damage and stuff like that, a bit like Elder Scrolls Online, where, you know, you're physically clicking to do some of your skills, which is going to be pretty good. Like, it's going to be a mixture. Like, I think tab clicking in MMOs, just pure tab clicking, is pretty boring. When you add in like what Guild Wars 2 had, where you could do like a roll of fire, for example, or you know what I mean, there's like different skills you could do. So like you would roll into an area to do certain damage in certain places and trap people and stuff like that. That was really, really good. I really enjoyed Guild Wars 2 fucking combat system. I thought it was really good. You can promise the world about the content, but the combat must be fun and yeah, exactly, yeah. No, it must be. But again, so like all of this has been explained to like Asmongold, and Asmongold obviously, as you know, fucking, you know, one of the biggest WoW streamers out there, and he said so far he really likes the idea of this. Steven has said that they understand that the combat has to be right for the whole game. Yeah, no, it will. I think Elder Scrolls went a bit too far. It was basically a hack and slash game. You need a new mouse every month or two because you're literally clicking that much, because every attack was a click. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. Especially if you use like a melee weapon, every attack was a click. Do you know what I mean? I think that's too much. But I also think 100% tab targeting is boring. Really boring. Or can get boring. But yeah, we'll have to see exactly what they make.
See, I've played World of Warcraft that long now that, you know, anything other than that would be a really significant step for me in relearning.
Yeah, but it's going to be a brand new game and everyone's going to be brand new to it, so like, you wouldn't be the only one learning, do you know what I mean?
Oh, of course. I mean, I didn't like that Apocalypse thing. I must have played maybe 2 games. It was...
Yeah, but that... Okay, so this is why you need to watch those other videos. A bit like what Grift is saying there. There's been other videos with like... where... Is his name Steven, the CEO? Where he's openly said like... that was put in there to test a lot of their architecture or like mechanics and stuff. That was just a test. And then they actually found that some core things were broken and they've now been completely rewritten. That game is nothing to do with Ashes of Creation. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I think more than anything else, it was just a testing session for their... Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
Yeah. Then again, WoW wasn't exactly polished on launch either. See, there's nothing to say that this won't be polished, though. This is the thing. They're taking the time. You know what I mean? They're not, like, launching it in alpha, for example, in terms of, like, actually launching the game and go, there you go play it. They're literally taking the time. I mean, 20%, they could probably bring the game out mid-next year if they wanted to, and then be like, oh, yeah, we'll bring updates out to finish the game and stuff like 9 out of 10 games nowadays do. But they're not. They're taking the time. I think it'll be decent. Do you want to play again? Yeah.
Do you disagree with that ethos? World of Warcraft combat was fluid from day one.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's why it garnered so much attention, I think.
Ready to play? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's play.
This video, so it's hard to say how the complete system will actually feel.
Where are we starting in that map?
Yeah, pretty much the map, yeah.
When starting out in Ashes of Creation, you'll first make your character, choose your primary class, then you'll be given the choice to spawn at one of 4 divine gateways in the world. Each race does have their own starter zone and starter quests, but they won't be super mandatory to do, more of a recommendation. There's nothing stopping you as an elf spawning in the dwarven starting area to level with your friend. The world size in Ashes is planned to be truly massive, approximately 480 square kilometers in size, including both water and land content, as well as a diverse range of biomes ranging from deserts, swamps, plains, forests, snowy mountains, tropical islands, and everything in between. This game will be fully open world and also features underground zones known as the Underrealm. Ashes of Creation will feature an in-game viewable world map, however starting out much of it will be covered in a fog of war until areas have been explored and uncovered. Additionally, there will be some zones in the world that will experience all 4 seasons, which will bring about their own events, buffs, debuffs, and farming challenges. Seasons will rotate once each week, with a full 4-season rotation passing by every 4 weeks. When it comes to the leveling, the max level will be 50, and it will take roughly 45 days of playing 4 to 6 hours per day for the average player to level from 1 to 50. So definitely more on the hardcore side of things in that regard. Unlike a lot of modern MMOs, flying mounts will be extremely rare in Ashes of Creation. That's achievable only for guild leaders that own one of the game's 5 castles, the mayor of Metropolis nodes, and through legendary limited time dragon eggs that players might obtain from a world boss.
Imagine how sick it will be if you got a flying mount.
There will ever be more than 10 players per server with temporary access to flying. And when you consider that each server will have a population of between 8 to 10,000 players, seeing them will be really epic. It's also worth mentioning that fast travel will be extremely limited in this game, as the developers want distance to matter. The only form of fast travel that will be possible is if a scientific node reaches the Metropolis stage. At this point, players can construct a building that offers fast travel only to nodes within the Metropolis's zone of influence. But that's pretty much it for my basic explanation of what Ashes of Creation is without going super in depth on stuff. Next, I want to talk about why I believe this is the most exciting upcoming MMORPG, and why this game isn't just a pipe dream, rather something many people, including myself, will be testing with no NDA before the end of this year. First of all, it goes without saying, after everything I've just explained about the game, it will be the most ambitious fantasy MMORPG ever attempted. The game will truly have something for everyone. It's not just a PvP MMO or a PvE MMO, it's a genuine PvX MMO that has pretty much everything. Usually when a new MMORPG is announced and they talk about their plans when it comes to game design, it's always vague. There's a ton of question marks on many core systems, and it doesn't take long before players can look at the ideas of the developers and straight up say, this is a bad idea, this won't work. New World has been a perfect example of this since the first time I tried the game in 2018.
It's a shame New World's been put back actually.
When it announced its delay. When it comes to the game design of Ashes of Creation, it seems to me that almost every aspect of the game has been clearly thought out, and thanks to years of Q&As between the community and developers, we have a clear blueprint for how this game will actually play out if you care to read it on the Ashes of Creation wiki. When it comes to the core game design systems, there's nothing I'm overly concerned about. Everything seems to make sense and follow a strong design principle of risk versus reward. For me, the only real question mark I have about the game is how fun will the combat be? What does their 75% action tab hybrid combat system actually play like? I think if they can nail that and just follow the blueprint for this game until completion, it will be a guaranteed success. Ashes of Creation is primarily a privately funded MMORPG made by an MMO fan frustrated by the direction of the genre, who was extremely successful in business earlier in life. Since I first covered this project in 2017, we've seen the studio he created expand to over 100 developers, attracting people from Blizzard, Sony Online Entertainment, Daybreak Games, and more. This year especially, we've seen production for Ashes of Creation ramp up significantly, and in recent live streams we've seen gameplay sessions of many core systems working, such as the mayoral system, early hybrid combat, real-time node development, open world dungeons, a 40-man raid, the Caravan Pvp system, basic professions, and the purchasing of in-node player housing. What's more,
it's quite exciting to see like little mini clips and stuff that they've already built. It looks good,
despite the project still likely being a solid 2 years from completion. Sometime this fall, we've been told that people who have access to the game's Alpha 1 test will be able to stream and make content about the game with no NDA. And when you consider that Amazon's New World still has a strict NDA, despite previously being 2 months out from its supposed release, to me shows a lot of confidence in a product. Now, all of that's not to say that Ashes of Creation hasn't had its problems or drama surrounding its development, because it certainly has. Releasing Ashes of Creation Apocalypse, the Battle Royale testing environment on Steam, caused nothing but confusion to the people that were casually following the project. And in the past, the community went long periods of time without seeing any tangible gameplay due to an issue where large portions of Foundation code had to be rewritten, essentially delaying the game by 1 year. But in 2020, we've really started to see Ashes of Creation come together. Almost every monthly live stream we've been shown new gameplay, we've already had players get into the early Alpha 1 client and talk about their experiences thanks to no verbal NDA, and community perception of the project as a whole has shifted from extremely skeptical to cautiously optimistic. Whilst there's still a long road ahead for Ashes of Creation, I have to say that in the 5+ years I've been a full-time MMORPG YouTuber, this is the only upcoming MMO that I've been able to look at and say to myself, if this game releases, it has a real chance of being the next truly successful MMORPG. Thanks for watching.
What do you reckon then, Pep? Come on, hit me up. What do you reckon? Genuinely.
It's value for money. You know I'm going to play it. I said this to you the other day. It's just a shame we can't get onto the Alpha 1, because you know those people that have paid the big boy money to get on the Alpha 1, their communities are just going to fucking blow.
But Pep, how many people is that actually going to be? Because don't forget this. So we first seen this game in like 2018, right? Yeah, we first seen it in 2018, and how many people would have actually seen it and gone, yeah, okay, here's all the money? Like, how do you know what I mean? I don't think it's gonna be like all the big. Don't get me wrong. I do think they're gonna give like the top 100 streamers Alpha 1 access to MMO. You know, the MMO streamers. They are gonna give them access and let them play anyway, even though they've not bought the game and stuff. That will happen. Like Asmongold and all the kind of guys, they will get access to it and fair play, because it's gonna showcase the game to like hundreds of thousands of people, which is good. It is a shame, but we get Alpha 2, and if Alpha 1 is good enough, Alpha 2 will be early next year.
I'm looking forward to it. It's something that I'm impressed with. It's something that I'm keen to play. Yeah, I don't think there's much more to be said on the matter other than let's fucking go, really.
I know, that's the one annoying thing now. I hate the fact that we've got all this information, we have to wait so long. So annoying. We've already waited 2 years from when we first seen this game. It was back when we were doing the Porto and Benfica network save. Going into it a
long time ago.
Yeah, going into 2018, and then I don't know who found the game between us or what, or it was on one of those. It was on one of those. You know them YouTube videos you see, and it's like, top 10 MMOs coming out in the future. It was on one of those, and when they mentioned the node system, I was like, shit, this looks exciting. There's a dev showcase on the 30th, I think, or on like their channel on that, yeah.
They normally do one on the 30th, don't they?
Yeah. I'll be watching all them. I'll be watching all them now. 31st of July, dev update, live stream. Yeah. So, some of the ones I've watched in the past have been a bit boring, but like now that there's a lot more gameplay available for them to show, it's worth it. Like I remember the very first one I watched, like the characters didn't even walk properly on the floor. Do you know what I mean? Like there was like a mini barrier and stuff. Do you know what I mean? God knows what PDT is, not a clue. I mean, 11 AM for them will probably be like fucking in the afternoon for us, so that'll be sound. But no, like I said, yeah, I just wanted to bring Pep in as well, just to see like what he thought. And I know he's excited for the game and stuff, so I can't wait for it.
It's just the cost more than anything else, which is why obviously we've got the donation goals. But I mean, the fact that they add the tax on is a bit, it's a bit shit. But you know, at the end of the day, hopefully the money we earn on Twitch, we can start putting that towards that. I've just got to go live and actually get it now.
Exactly, yeah, it's a fucking stream. Oh mate, there's so many. Oh, this is a fucking hour's read on it. No, half an hour's read on its own. There's like a Q&A there, Pep, if you want to take a note of that. That was today as well. Holy shit.
The thing is, as they've ramped up the development, like the chap said on the video, there's more and more and more to showcase, and the more and more they are showcasing, the more impressive it looks.
Yeah.
It's only gonna. I mean, I don't actually think there's any way they can fuck this up until launch now. I really don't. There's just going to be so much hype for this game now. Much like there was for Scum. They built Scum up so much, and then when it launched, it was a bit flat.
But don't forget, it was because they released alpha. That's why. Even now, you know, they had an update the other day, 0.4. They're trying to say that the game isn't even halfway to being fully released yet. Like fucking Daisy. And it's been 2 years since that game came out, about now. So that's what I'm saying. This game won't release in alpha. This game will release in full game. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think we'll get, like Athos said before, like they're promising 250 versus 250 PvP. Yeah, but they're only promising it because they've already proved that they can do it in testing. Athos, do you know what I mean? They're not making these random, like, they're not going, oh, we'll do 250. Yeah, we'll sort it by the time the game's out. They've gone, we've already fucking done it. It will be ready. And they're actually going to try and test 500 v 500, but they're not mentioning that too much because that's not the aim. Do you know what I mean? If they can do it, they might add it in later on. But 250, they've already tested it. So, like, I genuinely think, yeah, like you said, okay, so, my biggest worry about this game is the combat. If it's too much like Elder Scrolls Online, it'll be shit. If you're fucking hacking and slashing, just constantly clicking and clicking and clicking and, you know, just to try and each swing of your mace or your axe or whatever is another click, that would be a nightmare. That would be a horrible system. But yeah, but I do also like the fact that let's say you're a mage hunter or something, or whatever they're called, and you've got skills that you can fire, like AoE skills that you can manually fire. Do you know what I mean? If you're good enough at like predicting where enemies are about to go and stuff, you could be really tactile with that. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to like run really close and then hover over your circle of AoE to then, do you know what I mean? Like, I just think little things like that will be really, really good. And like I said, I like the fact that it's not just your bog standard, do you know what I mean? I mean, WoW's not like this either, but your bog standard MMOs where you basically got like 1 or 2 choices for tank, a DPS, and a healer. Do you know what I mean? This fucking 64 choices is insane. I can't find the 500 models at once. I promise it's out there. It probably is. I've seen the I've just watched too many videos since. Yeah, true, Grifter, true, man. I've watched a lot as well. So like, I missed that drop, but then on my YouTube feed, the Asmongold one come up, and I thought, shit, this is perfect. I actually quite like Asmongold, and I think he's quite good at like being honest. If he thinks a game's bullshit, he'll just say this is bullshit. Like he's expressed a couple of concerns, but he's also gone, shit, this looks good. Do you know what I mean? So if it's exciting him, probably good. But I've seen his interview, I've seen the Shroud and Summit interview, and then I've now seen this video like twice. We say 64 classes. I mean, it literally is 64 classes. 64 combinations, should we say? But they are all their own class. It could be like WoW, where you have Holy Paladins and Tank Paladins being basically separate. Huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, specs. Okay, so if you take it down that route, you've got priests in WoW with 3 different subclasses: Discipline, Holy, and Shadow. So yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want to go down that route, it's just another way of having specs in the game, but they're just classing it as different classes. But they also make it virtually impossible. Well, not virtually impossible, but very difficult, I think the chap said, in order to change your spec. So, you know, once
your secondary spec,
you're practically done with it. So you gotta really know what you want.
Yeah, that's the same as Guild Wars 1. I don't know if anyone's ever played Guild Wars 1, but you would become, for example, an Elementalist, and then during the mini part at the start, you would choose your secondary class. So you might be an Elementalist healer. It'd be called the Monk, I think. But then, if you really didn't like it, like I once chose Elementalist Ranger, which was apparently the worst you could ever pick. It was just a terrible idea. But later on in the game, you can run a bunch of quests. It takes a couple of hours, and then you can change your secondary one. So obviously, if you pick fucking Weapon Master, and Weapon Master apparently turns out to be anti-meta and you just can't play, this is the worst one, you're not stuck. You don't have to re-roll your entire character. Do you know what I mean?
I'm definitely going to be a cleric. That's going to be my main spec. I think it's either that or a tank, but cleric definitely. A cleric tank, which is an apostle, does look okay. I'm quite excited about that. But then I wouldn't mind just being a cleric and a high priest or whatever they're called. So yeah.
I'm definitely gonna roll a healer. I'd love to heal in a raid. I'd love to be the guy that everybody relies on. Do you know what I mean? I really would. But then at the same time, if I'm soloing, I want to be something a bit more, do you know what I mean? Like something magey and range would be fucking sick. Like they literally have that, don't they? So they have like mage and range will be spell hunter. That just sounds sick. What the hell is a spell hunter? Sounds so good.
Well, why don't you be a scion then, a ranger and a mage?
That's what I am. Oh, sorry, it'd be the way around. I get what you're trying to say. So you'll be ranger and mage, sky. Yeah. I was looking at it the way around. But yeah, so this excites me so much because, like, do you know what I mean? And for watching people on Twitch and stuff, this will make it so much more exciting because you're not just watching, oh, this guy's a tank. All right, there's probably 1,000 tanks on Twitch playing this game. Whereas, do you know what I mean? Like, you won't have as many people. You be, oh shit, this guy's a major in apostle. I need to watch this guy because I want to be an apostle. Do you know what I mean? You'll have all that kind of stuff going on. Maybe a necromancer or a beastman. Mate, there's just so many good ones. They all sound good as well. Just because of the whole strider one, I want to run a strider as well. Don't think you can't. Where is it now? The hunter's the other way around. So is it ranger and there we go, strider. Mate, come on, a strider. It just sounds sick. I'm just literally gonna make a strider. It's gonna be so good. But no, I like all this kind of stuff. I didn't know it was gonna be like this, where you combine the 1 and 2, because I like Guild Wars 1 the way you could do that. I just didn't understand it at the time, so I didn't really get it. But this looks exciting.